Hey guys, it's Cola. So right now I'm going to be talking to you about numbers. We're going to be talking about numbers. We're going to be talking about synchronicities, what they mean, how they're important, and I'm going to go down the list. Anyway, so let us continue. When you start seeing synchronicities and you start seeing when I say synchronicities, I mean when you start seeing numbers in sequence. I remember the first time I seen numbers in sequence. I was working at the casino and I was a supervisor at the casino. I closed my drawer. Chill, kid. I closed my drawer, and when I added up all my numbers, I got 333333, which is 33,333. And I was like, what the fuck? So I legit called every other co-supervisor I had, like all of my coworkers, and was like, add these fucking numbers and make sure that I got this right. Put it in the computer, and I kept getting the same thing. So I was like, what the fuck? So I was already on my spiritual journey. I decided then, let me go on Google and see what the fuck 333 stands for. Now, I was 32 at the time. So when I seen that, and I recently had just turned 32, I seen what 33 represented, and I was like super excited because I was like, yeah, I'm getting into the spiritual journey. This is going to be it. I'll be 33 next year. Everything's going to start happening. And legit, it did. It actually started happening that way. But anyway, so when you start seeing the numbers in sequence like that, those are messages from your angels. Those are messages from your ancestors, messages from God, from Supreme Source, that are telling you you're on the right track. When you start seeing numbers like 222, that means spiritually you're on the right track. You're in unity with the collective. You're in unity with Supreme Source. For instance, the number 1 represents leadership. And actually, let's start with the number 0. I know y'all like, why she doing that? Because I don't know how to talk in just one straight line. So we're going to start with the number 0 because I use my tarot cards when I talk about numbers because they help me to remember them. So we're going to start with the number 0, which is an actual number. I know 0 is considered nothing, but 0 is everything. 0 is everything contained within. 0 is God's protection. So in my opinion, 0, which is the initiation before the initiation, it is organized chaos, everything that is within. 0 represents God's number to me. It represents God's protection. It represents that circle of protection that surrounds each and every one of us. So when I see 0, especially in the tarot, especially in life, I see that as me being protected. I see that as me on my journey being protected. And if you look at the Fool card in the tarot, what the fuck do you see? You see this motherfucker taking a leap of faith, jumping over this bridge. He don't have no guidance. He don't have no nothing. He don't have no books. He don't have no clothes. He just got this one little stick on his back. And he does have, y'all, I don't know if people know this when they see it. He does have a guardian angel here. That dog is his guardian angel. That's his familiar. People don't think people think that, familiars are not real, but they fucking are. I got 2 familiars in my house. Familiars are angels. They are sent here to help guide you, to protect you. Now, he's about to jump over this bridge. He don't know what's at the bottom. We don't know what's at the bottom. Does he give a fuck? Look at his face. No. You know why? Because 0 above his head. He has God's protection. He doesn't care what happens because he knows he's protected by God. He's on his spiritual path without any reservations, without any problems. He is on the path that God has put before him. And even when he's faced with an obstacle as big as coming off a cliff and he don't know where he's going, he still is walking on faith. Walking by faith, not by sight. The number 1, and if you see zeros in unison, just to the third, second or third power, hell, I'm being protected, uberly protected. So when you see 1s, the 1s represent, as always in everything in life, 1s represent initiation. It represents the start of something. It also represents someone being a leader. So when I look at the 1 in the tarot and in life, I see this as a start, as an initiation. If I see 111, I see that as, okay, my angels, my ancestors, and Supreme Source are telling me now is the time for now is the time for me to be in alignment with my intentions, with my manifestations, with beginning something new in my life. Understanding that I have the capability to take the lead because I am one magician in this life. This is what the magician represents. It represents self. It represents you having the capability to really manifest everything that you desire with using your ability to call upon the forces of heavens and use the physical 3D tools that you have been guided or given here on earth. This is what the magician is. This is what the magician represents. The number 1 is the magician. So in life, the number 1 represents you. When you start seeing numbers in synchronicity like that, 111, I see 1101 a lot, or 1011. I always see a 0 in between my ones. And that is an indication for me that God is protecting me while I'm on my journey. Okay, while I'm taking the initiation to move forward and manifest things in this physical world for myself. So let's move on to 2. And y'all, including while I'm doing this, let me go and include the master numbers while I'm doing this. The number 1 also has a master number of 11. The master number 11 represents the healers of the world. They represent the people that are put here to help heal. They are the initiators in raising the vibration of the planet, because 1 is the initiation. So if you have a life path number 11, if your soul path, your heart path, whatever is the number 11, that means that you're here to heal. That also means, as a side note, just so you guys know, that you heal through your wounds. So that means that you're the first to go through whatever situation that you're having to heal. I only know that because I'm a life path number 11, and I've been through buku shit in order to help y'all to heal through the shit. You feel what I'm trying to tell you? While it's happening, is not good. But once it happens and you learn the lesson and you're able to use a lesson in order to help teach and lead others, then you become more understanding of the reasonings behind it. So if you have a life path number 1, like I'm telling you, if you have a life path number 1, you're a leader. You're someone that is going to initiate new things in this life. If your life path is number 11, which is a master number, that means you're a master healer. You have the ability to help raise the vibration of the planet, to heal the planet. But in order to do that, you have to go through the same thing that you're trying to heal. You have to survive what you are helping others to survive. So the next number we're going to look at is number 2. Number 2 is all about balance. Number 2 is about balance. It's about duality. Balance is about polarities. It's also about unity. 2s represent unity because 1 and 1 makes 2. 1 and 1 makes 3. But for the case of talking about the number 2, 1 and 1 makes 2. Now, this is how the 1s change in regards to the situation. How the 2s change in regards to the situation. 2s, when you're seeing 222 in regards to spiritually, this is you being in alignment with spirit, you being in alignment with the collective, you being in alignment with supreme source, walking on the spiritual path alongside your ancestors, alongside the higher deities. This is you being spiritually balanced with the masculine and the feminine within yourself. 2s also represent unity romantically. So if you see 2-2 a lot, this can be a romantic union, 2 people coming together. 2 plus 2 equals 4, which we'll talk about that later. The 2s represent, again, balance. 2 in the tarot card is the Hierophant. Not the Hierophant, is the High Priestess. The High Priestess is the liaison between the heavens and man's knowledge. The High Priestess is not an actual, now the High Priestess can actually be an entity, an angel, but the High Priestess is not an actual physical entity, nor is the Magician. Both of these are actions. The Magician is an action and the High Priestess is an action. The Magician is the physical action of, the Magician is the physical act of taking action, of using resources to bring things into fruition. The High Priestess is the physical act of using your knowledge, the knowledge from the collective, to bring forth into existence as well. So these 2 are 2 polarities of spirit and not a person. This is the masculine and the feminine inside of you. So just so I tell y'all that. The number 2 also represents, I think I said all that the number 2 represents. Yeah. Okay. So master number 22. The master number 22 is a master. What the fuck is the master number 22? Y'all, let me make sure before I say the wrong thing. I think it's a teacher though. Master number, and I don't care about doing this in front of y'all because, but. The master teacher, I was right. Glad I did it in front of you. All right. All right. With the number 2 being a master, and it makes perfect sense that it would be the master teacher because the High Priestess is the knowledge within. I'm legit telling y'all this, and y'all can take it how y'all want. I don't give a fuck. The Master 2 is not a person. It is the knowledge, okay? This is the feminine aspect of the physical body. The masculine aspect is the, hold on, let me rephrase that. The masculine aspect, or the masculine polarity of the physical body, is the action taker. It's the person, is the part of yourself that takes action. It's the yang, okay? This is the part that makes things happen. The yin, which is the feminine energy, which is the high priestess, which is your knowledge, is your intuition, your knowledge, your knowing, okay? The thing I'll move to is the number 3. The number 3 is all about alignment. The number 3 is about creativity. It's about production. The number 3 also represents social situations. The number 3 also represents social situations. It's about bringing people together. When I see the number 3, I automatically think of the Holy Trinity. In Christian society, or in the religion, the Christian religion, the Holy Trinity is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. But in Eastern societies, in Eastern culture, the Holy Trinity is the Mother, the Son, and the Child, because it legit takes a woman, a man, in order to create another being to make 3. 1 and 1 makes 3, like I said. But regardless of all that, we're not going to dabble into all that. 3s represent creativity. 3s represent alignment. That's why when I said earlier, when I saw 33333, I got super excited, because I was on my spiritual path, and my whole purpose was to be in alignment with being on the right path. So I knew that this next year that I had was going to be life-changing, and it was. It legit was. It changed my entire life. The 33rd year of my life was the greatest year of my life. And I really believe that 33 has a lot of different things that are associated with that as well. I'm not going to get into that, because that means I'm going to have to pull out my phone again. I don't want to do that. Now, when you start seeing 3s in sequence, okay, that is definite messages from spirit. That's definite messages from, your ancestors, from angels. When you see 33, that is about being in alignment. That is about you being in alignment with being on the spiritual path, or being in alignment with the spiritually aligned path. If you see 333, that means that you are needing to mentally, spiritually, and emotionally be in alignment with whatever you're focusing on, with the path, with whatever goals you have, with whatever you're trying to create. Because again, 3s represent creativity. 3s represent putting things in motion, making things work, making things move. The 3 in the tarot is also the Empress. The Empress is the biggest creator in these fucking tarot. She gives birth. Okay, she's a woman. She's a portal. The Empress is legit the portal for man and heavens. When she gives birth to a human being, when she gives birth to a baby, she has to be a portal in order to house that child and that child's soul. As far as physically, you feel what I'm trying to tell you? I'm not saying that God is a woman, and I'm not saying that God is a man. I believe wholeheartedly that God has no gender. I believe that God doesn't even have a form. I believe that God is an energy, a vibration that we feel, that we experience based off my own experience in life. I believe that God is a supreme source of power that can be either good or bad, according to how you use that source. And it is your life, your destiny, your fate that you are, playing with it. Only reason why I'm saying that God is a woman physically, because on the physical plane here, the woman is the only entity that can bring, or the feminine aspect of humans are the only entities that can bring forth a living, breathing vehicle that is housing a soul or a piece of the collective. All right. So, again, and then look at her. Like, okay, she's got the crown with the 12 stars, 12 zodiacs, 12 disciples, all that. Like, come on. And the 12, if you simplify it, it's a fucking 3. So that means that she is in alignment with everything that is spiritual. Okay. Anyway, and look at around her. She's Mother Earth. Look at her. She has flowing water around her. She has corn or maize there, which fully represents creativity. And she has a fucking forest flourishing behind her. Like, she is Mother Earth. Next card. Oh, if you master number 33. So if you have the master number 33, you are a master creator. That means that you have her. That means that you have the ability to create everything that you desire. Y'all, I'm not going to say it again. God is a woman. Physically on earth, God is a woman. In the cosmos, God is a supreme source, and energy does not have a gender. God is a motherfucking woman. Okay, enough. All right, so the next card that we're going to look at is the number 4, or the next number that we're going to look at is the number 4. So the number 4 represents stability. The number 4 represents structure. The number 4 represents power. 4 is the number of angels' protection. Not of God's protection, but of angels' protection, because you are supremely protected. If you're on the right path, you're supremely protected by your angels, by your ancestors. So the number 4 to me represents angels or ancestor protection. So the 4 is a masculine number. This is the man. So the woman would be the empress, of course, the divine feminine. So all of the women that are born in the feminine energy are divine, okay? That's because you are born a woman. The divine masculine is the one who sets structure. This is the emperor, okay? And that's what the emperor does. He sets structure. He sets boundaries. He's the king of all kings. So you're dealing with a god, essentially. The empress here is a god, a goddess, okay? And the emperor is a god. That is a man or a god among men, meaning a divine energy. The only way that you step into these, and y'all, I'm giving y'all little lessons in regards to this in the midst of this number things. The only way that you can take on these divine entities is if you go through the life lessons of the tarot and overcome. You gotta master being the queen of, if you're gonna be the empress, you gotta master being the queen of cups, queen of swords, queen of pentacles, and the queen of wands, and be able to keep those stable within you. That's 4 queens in order to be that empress. You got to be able to use all of those different aspects of yourself, your passion, your stability, your thought, and your emotions in order to create alignment within your life. As well as for men, you have to be able to master the king of pentacles, the king of swords, the king of wands, and the king of cups, meaning you have to be able to master the emotions, the mentals, the passions, and the creativity and the thought in order to become this emperor. It represents also protection, because I see the 4s as God's protection. And I feel like as angels protection, I feel like that's the way it's supposed to be. There is not a master number 44, but if you see 4s in sequence, that represents that number 2, the next power. When I see 44, and maybe I see 44 as a protection number because that's a number for protection for me. So it may not be for everybody, but when I see 44, I automatically think, okay, you're being protected by supreme source right now. You're being protected by your angels right now. I see 444. That means not only am I being protected, but my path is being protected and the goals are being protected. You feel it? All right, my apologies. So the number 5 represents change. It represents change. It represents adaptability, because even with change, you have to adapt. It also represents, like I'm telling you, faith and tradition. All right. So it does change, and it also represents, the reason why it represents change, because the number before it is a 4. 4 represents stability. It represents something that already has a foundation. If you add in that extra pentacle, cup, whatever, you create a change to that. You create something that is making something different, making a change to it. It's no longer based off what you believed before, but now there's a change to that. The number 5 also represents, in the tarot, the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the liaison between the heavens and earth. Not like the High Priestess, because the High Priestess is not a person. The Hierophant is a person. The High Priestess is an energy. The High Priestess is the knowledge you have within yourself. The Hierophant is a physical entity on earth that is helping to relay messages from the heavens for the people on earth. They hold the keys to other realms. The Hierophant is considered the Pope, and the Pope changes by knowledge. They use their knowledge to change your perspective and to change your life. Everyone on earth has the ability to be the Hierophant in their life. They have the ability to relay messages from the higher realms into their life on this planet, in this existence. But the number 6 represents stability. And the reason why it represents, or not stability, but it represents bringing balance or bringing stability to a situation. I feel like you have to be in alignment with bringing, or I feel like with the number 6, you have to be mentally and physically, or spiritually and physically in alignment with bringing balance to whatever changes that have occurred from the number 5. So with the number 6, It represents choices to create balance. And the only reason why I say choice is because in the tarot, the number 6 is the Lover's card, which is a choice. It is about making a trustworthy choice. The number 6 also spiritually represents sort of past energy, coming back, returning. It represents karma. So you may be at a space of having something structured, going through a change, and having to deal with the repercussions of that change with the 6 to help bring balance to whatever situation you're dealing with. These 6s, like I said, represent balance. When I see 6, that represents maybe my mind and maybe I need to be balanced on my spiritual path. If I see it in sequences of 3, 3s are an alignment number. So when I see one number 3 times, I am trying to be in alignment with that number. All right, so let's move on to 7s. 7 is a very spiritual number, okay? 7 represents, it's like the seal, okay? It's like the unlocking. So once you get to the 7, this is about sort of a mental mastery that you have, of choosing to move toward creating to move toward creating, to move toward working, to move toward abundance. And this is a choice. It's a spiritual choice that you have in life. 7s represent discipline. 7s represent luck. 7s are a number of luck. I think that's all I got. Y'all, I know on this video they may be like, oh, this girl taking forever. I don't give a fuck. I'm telling you what these numbers represent to me from my perspective. And I'm telling you, how to relate them with what you see, with the synchronicities that you see. When I see 777, I always say, okay, it's about to be a time in my life that I need to make a choice about something, and I need to be very wise about the choice that I'm making. When I see 7s in the tarot, the 7 in the tarot is the Chariot. So this is someone that, and mind you, these are polarities here, white and black here. This is someone that has to make a choice, that has to make a balanced choice. You see that cross up in there? Someone has to make a balanced choice here. I do feel like this is about taking action on that choice. So even with the 7s, it's not just about choosing, but it's about choosing and really being in alignment with that choice. All right, so I did that, yeah. So the number 8 represents, to me, abundance, infinity. It represents creativity on a higher scale. It represents personal creativity. It represents creating something physically for yourself, mentally, whatever. It's creativity, not just as a whole with other people, but for yourself in your life, in this cycle that you're dealing with in your life. The number 8 to me is also a very, very, very high vibration number, because again, it represents infinity. It represents a non-ending cycle, okay? So the 8s in the tarot represents strength. It represents the strength that man has over beast, this is an angelic being. Let me rephrase that. Not man over beast. This woman here is an angelic being. This is your soul, per se. So this is you, your higher self, having the ability to overcome your ego or to overcome man. So that is how I see the 8s. I see the 8s as personal development, as really moving effortlessly through the cycles and really overcoming the ego. That's what I see it as. So now we get to the number 9s. 9s represent transitions. It represents getting to the point of completing a cycle. It represents mastery of whatever situation you're dealing with. They represent, to me, really and truthfully, self-mastery. It represents you being able to master whatever cycle that you're in and overcome that, so you can gain the full experience of whatever you're dealing with. The 9s in the tarot is the Hermit. So the Hermit is a guide. The Hermit is someone who sheds light, who gives you the path. When you are the Hermit, when you take on this energy of the Hermit, you are guiding yourself. Your higher self is guiding yourself into the new path. You're shining your light so that you know so that your higher self is shining the light so that you know where you need to be going. So this is about mastery. This is about going within and mastering your own darkness so that you can really follow your light. So we get to the 10s. We already did the master number, so I'm not going to go through the rest of the numbers. But with the 10s, 10s represents completion. 10 is the end. You know what I'm saying? I always say 10, 10. 10, 10 is the motherfucking end. So if you see 10s a lot, you see 10, 10 on your clock, that means something is coming to an end. Like I said, The 10s, if you break down the number, you can't go anywhere from the 10 because 0 is God's protection, okay? It's not anything physically that you can feel. So there's nothing that you can physically move with that 0. The 1 is back at 1. So once you get to the 10, then it's you and God. And now you're back at 1. There's a new path that has to be initiated, but God's protection never leaves. You feel what I'm trying to tell you? You never see it there because it never leaves. It's always around you. So once you get to that 1 and 0, it look better that way. Once you get to that, I don't know. Once you get to that 1 and 0, you can't go 1 0 1. Okay, what I'm saying? That's not how it's going to go. It's going to go 1 0, drop that 1. Drop that 0 because God's protection is just going to follow you wherever you go. Drop that 0 onto this new path that God's presenting you with something new because you've already mastered the cycle with the 9. Now you're changing. That's why the number 10 in the tarot is the Wheel of Fortune. Now you're changing. Whatever was before on this 10, once you begin again, is no more. Okay? The Wheel of Fortune is a change in your life. Once you reach a 10 in your life has to change because you get, for instance, in the tarot, once you get to the 10 of Pentacles, you can't get no more Pentacles. You lose those Pentacles and then you go back to 1. Once you get to the 10 of Cups, you can't get no more Cups. You lose those Cups and then you go back to 1. Okay? Once you get to, and mind you, you don't actually lose them. They're a part of your history. You just can't regain those same cups. You got to go back to getting new cups. Or you can go back into that same cycle, but you're not going to gain anything more. You're just going to go relive all of the stuff that you've already been through. With that being said, this is the end. This is the 10. You know what I'm saying? We're done. That's all of the numbers, 1 through 10. So this is all I have. Hopefully you guys like this video. I will be editing some stuff out, just so you know. So if you see some funny stuff, it's because I edited it out because I can't talk just 32 minutes straight without making a fucking mistake. That's just how it is. So this is all I have. Until next time, y'all. Peace.